Conflict resolution is the informal or formal process that two or more parties use to find a peaceful solution to their dispute. Marriage is one of such parties that in one way or another encounters different conflicts. How do you resolve conflicts in your marriage? Stay tuned as Dr. Njeriga Shohi takes us through today's lesson.
Yes, how are you today?
Fine.
I believe that even our viewers at home are also fine. And we are back again to our class, the marriage classroom. And we are continuing to learn and learning a lot. And from the feedback, I believe that even you as the viewer, you also have been benefiting. We've gotten quite a lot of feedback that we are growing in marriage. And we have learned how to communicate. And we are communicating well, but now we want to learn how to resolve conflicts. Last class, we talked about the areas of conflict in marriage. And maybe for those who are there, they can remind us. Briefly, we just say so that our viewers, if you're joining us or those that are new in class today, can be able to remember. So I would ask George if you can read for us. I know you're in class, so that
Yes.
half of them, and maybe we'll have Constance.
Yes.
Whatever remains, you will say. Okay, so kindly remind us what we learned.
Yes, we covered, thank you, we covered areas of conflict in marriage,
Yes.
being money, third party or extended family,
Yes.
unmet expectations, roles and responsibilities,
Yes.
irritating habits, poor communication.
Yes, can Constance remind us? And we say these are not the only ones, but we were looking at the most common, because, and they may not be the only common ones. You may have others, okay?
Then we continue. Number 7 was agenda, hidden agenda, yani secret ones. Then 6, different life goals and match life ambition. And the faith, we talked about the religion there, culture and the children.
Yes, and so we can have many, because we are saying that we may not have covered all of them. We have those that are unique depending on maybe type of marriage. If it is cultural, you may find some conflicts, maybe because you can't understand one another between your in-laws and all that, and the other areas that may need to be resolved. But, you know, whether they are included here or they are unique, I believe conflicts in marriage exist because we said it is when we have some perceived incompatibility of actions or goals. Sometimes it's not that it is actually a conflict. It is a perceived, you know, your way of thinking, your way of view may be different. So when we perceive that we are not compatible, we are going different ways, sometimes people conflict. You know, the word makabiliano inakuanga zaidi. Hii inakaa kama ile ya kimataifa. Lakini when we are talking about ni kama kutofautiana, ya? Yes. Tulisema tena kutofautiana, kutoelewana. Lakini makabiliano, by the time inakaa makabiliano, inakaa watu wanatafuta hata siraha. Yeah, but we pray that we don't go beyond there, and that's why today we are going to look at how to resolve the conflicts, okay, in marriage. So the word resolve, because the resolution or resolving comes from the word resolve. What is to resolve? It has many meanings, but I believe we are going to look at what it means for now. To resolve? Yes.
Being in agreement.
Yes. Being in agreement, another way? Yes, Abron.
To create a solution.
Could create a solution, find a solution. Marim, look like you're thinking. No, it has not yet come. George?
Getting a remedy.
Yes, getting a remedy. Yeah, all those we talk about to aid or to bring to an end, to settle, to find an answer, what do you say, find a solution, or to a problem, argument, or a difficulty. So we can resolve. There is that part of resolve. Umeamua. Sio ya kujiuma. Nasema nimeresolve. Sitaambiwa. That's not what we are looking for. It has many meanings. But our resolve is where we are saying you are looking for a solution. You are finding an answer or settling a disagreement, difficult, or maybe something that you contradicted. So then when you talk about conflict resolution now, we are saying that it is where two or more parties they find a peaceful solution to their dispute. Whether they use formal ways or informal. Hata kama si ile kama ya kuita Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan, that one is formal diplomatic. You don't even have to make it so formal that you're going now to get somebody to, we have these people who are doing dispute resolutions or mediation, where you have even to write a contract. It's not that it can be formal, but also it can be informal. You can just decide, we are going to resolve this, because it is, when we are two, then that's a party. So it can be two or more. So it is where we are going to look at what can we do. So let's look at how we resolve the conflicts. And our viewers, I believe you are following us just to ask ourselves, how do we solve those conflicts? And now we are saying those conflicts that we mentioned in the family. There could be other areas. So one of them is look for an appropriate place and time. You would never solve a conflict by ambushing people. Or try it. Or you have tried. You tried. Lazima itusuluhishe sahi. Hii lazima. And have you ever, has it worked?
No.
Ila kusema hii mambo itaishia hapa. And it has never ended there. So if you want to resolve a conflict at home, one of the things you need to do, look for an appropriate place and time. So what is the best time? When people are tired?
No.
Or
when you are happy, when you are peaceful, when you are feeling that now my heart is composed, now we can sit and talk.
What about the conflict imefanya you are already worked up? When do we wait for you to settle and be at peace to solve it? But that's a good thing. At least, not when watu wamechamuka. It's not when people are at the boiling point and you are saying, lazima tusuluhishe sahi hapa. It is here or never. It will never work. Yes, we can get.
If you have kids, when they are asleep, the house is cool, no one can hear your discussions.
Yes, when you are, if you have kids, they have already eaten and they have gone to sleep, you are alone, or you can move out. If it's during the day, get someplace when you are alone. Okay? Another thing that we need to remember is, now that you've gone to solve a conflict, stick to one problem at a time, or stick to the problem at hand. There could be many others. Huwa zinabebana, ndio nakumbuka. Hata siku ile uliniambia. Siku hiyo ingine na nikanyamaza. So this time when we are solving this one, hizo zingine zinafanya nini?
Sometime unasikia mtu anakuambia, sikuwa nikikwambia, sasa unaona matokeo yake.
And something else, what happens when you are resolving conflict, halafu zingine zinatokea?
I think one of the people in the conflict should be, when we are talking about these resolving conflicts, is so that people should be conscious about things. And one of the people in the conflict should be able to see, let us solve this first.
Okay.
It's not saying that the others are not important, but let us resolve, as you're saying, one problem at a time.
Yes.
Once this is resolved, now you can notice the others. We will
look at them.
We will look at them.
That is true. So we also don't sweep the rest, because they could have been zilikuwa pengine zimechangia hii, lakini kwa sababu hii ndio moto, kwa sababu pengine ulijibu vibaya, usiseme ni kwa sababu. Sasa hiyo sababu tutafuata, lakini kama ni you didn't answer properly. So let's see why you didn't, whether it's the right way. The rest we can look at what really had followed, okay? Yes. Then the other one is give each other a chance to present their side of the problem or how you see it. You see if there is any conflict and it is one side, okay, you said something, or let's say it is the issue of money. You're spending a lot, or the issue is our money is not enough, but then there is the issue that I am thinking you're using a lot on yourself. But now what do? You just don't start and say let's solve now and you've already been accused. Give the other person wakati tunasema nini si kujitetea. Put the case first before we say you are put on your defense, isn't it? There is a way when you are told to give your side of the problem, then the other person can see. Okay? Are we following now?
Yes.
So we are saying give each other a chance. The other thing is now listen actively. Whoever is not talking should listen actively. And we talked about communication.
Yes.
One of the ways was to listen what? Actively. When you listen actively, it is not you listening to be able to counteract. Unajua there is that time you are listening, ukipanga ile sasa utarudisha, mishale ile utarudisha sasa. Or and the argument that you're going to, but are you hearing the other person? We said hear and understand. Not only what he's saying, but also if you can be able to pick out even the feelings.
Yes.
Because if you don't get the emotions part, you may never know that this has hurt the person, this one has affected the other person. Okay? So listen actively so that we say get the facts, opinions, if possible, even the feelings. Once you get the feelings, then you know how this has touched your friend. Okay?
Yes.
And then we are able to empathize. Sometimes we say, hiyo kitu kidogo tu. Hiyo kitu ikakukasirisha. Hiyo kitu kidogo. Kama mimi ni wewe. Kweli mimi si wewe. So let me hear me as I said what it meant when you shouted at me before people. Sometimes those are the things that sometimes you call. Sasa uliniaibisha mbele ya watu. Hiyo kitu tu inakufanya. Now, hear what it meant to me when you shout at me. Au unaniambia mbele ya watu. We, oka. Nina. Okay. I know there are those words we call, but there are those things you do in public, and sometimes people haya. Anaita bibi yake hivyo. Au anaita bwana wake hivyo. Tewe oka. Na mkono. Okay, anyway, sometimes and the others they feel disrespected. So when he tells you that was disrespectful, understand and feel it. Okay?
Yes.
The other thing is, let's not try to be what we call don't mind read. Mind reading. Mind reading is where we think we know. Mimi najua vile unataka kusema. Nilijua. Hii najua hata wakati ulinita nilijua ni nini ulikuwa unataka kuniambia. Now that is mind reading. So wakati unasikia, si unajua sema.
Ama mwingine anakuambia ulikuwa unangojea. Niguze tu kidogo alafu uanze.
That is it. Kama singesema hivi, ungefanya hivi. Now those are signs like you are trying to mind read the other person. Yes. And so sometimes what happens? The issue is kama unajua. The feeling is
proceed.
There is no need. Si unajua kwa nini tumekutana? Then that now affects the issue. Okay. Then the other thing, if you are not mind reading, now we say go to the issue, try to get the core. Identify the core issue. C-O-R-E. Ni nini imefanya kuwe na kutofautiana, what did we call it in Kiswahili? Kutokubaliana. Kutoelewana. What was the real issue? There could have been others. Maybe vile jibu. Kwa nini ulijibu hivyo? Let's look at the core issue because it could also have other things. Once we get the core issue, then you realize that we are able to stop the arguments back and forth. Yes. Mali-
Kuna swali. Mimi naona
Uliza.
nauliza. Number 2 tulisema you stick to the problem at hand.
Yes.
And now in my list is number 7. You guys, I don't know the number. Identify the core issue. Lakini sasa, how do you stick to the problem before you know the core issue? See, naona kama the two should have chronologically. Ya kwanza ni look for an appropriate time and place. Then identify the core issue. Then stick to the problem.
And I'm saying it can also be later. The reason is when people have sat and started talking, you may not even have known what is eating you. Okay? Ni ulisema, ulifanya. So even as you look at the issue, you may never understand what we are calling the core problem. Ile muzizi yenyewe ilifanya hayo mambo yote yatokee. Yes.
Mnafikia mahali mnaulizana, okay, tumekuwa na hizo issues zote.
Yes.
What was the main problem?
Yes.
Haya yote yaliletwa na nini? Ama tuliulizana nini? Tukiketi chini tuulizane, okay, tumepigishana kelele, umenijibu umeniambia maneno.
True.
Hasa ilikuwa ni nini sababu?
True. That's now what I'm saying, the core issue. Or what really caused the other. You know, the other one was manifestation. Let's say like you've not been talking, okay? Mlianzia kunyamaziana lini. Then the issue could have been we are not talking, or umekuwa ukijamazia. So that could be like the source of the conflict. But as you talk about it, somebody now listens, anasema kuna hiyo siku tunaendelea. So what was the core issue? Where did the rain start beating us? What was the core issue? Why did you stop talking? Kneel by mouth. One of the communication we said, bad communicators. Kneel by mouth. Okay? So, and then maybe we realized there was an underlying problem. That's what we are saying. I don't know whether you've gotten. Thank you. So then we say now, once we've gotten the core issue, then we try to get on the same side of the fence. So you've already found this is what is the issue. So we say, try to get the side of the fence. The reason is, as we remembered last time when we said, if you're talking about a 6 here, and another one is talking about a 9. And you're not on the same side. You're not going to see the same thing. So you keep arguing. You, me, you, I, me, myself, personally. My opinion. So we say my personality, so you say my all through I. At the end of it, you will not solve it. But now after you have listened to one another, can you see now my side? Come and see what it meant to be there the whole day, having cooked a very good meal, and then you don't even say when you are coming, and even after you eat, you just belch and sleep, and I'm hungry. So tomorrow, I decide, the man comes, he's so tired, he's worked so hard, and you're there shouting, hakuna chakula, hakuna. And then after that, he's looking at the way remembering how he had a hard day, he doesn't even want to talk to you. So, after you have taken his side, or he has taken your side, you can know how it feels. Then, that's when even we say you can empathize, okay? Now, we've already gone up to where we have seen, now we have taken one side. Then after that, now we look for possible solutions. Look for possible solutions. Now we can see you're getting so tired. And there's a lot. So that's the time people said, can we get somebody to help you? Can we get somebody to come and be working on the house maybe over the weekend or help you wash the clothes? Yes. Okay? And then even the man, you say, can I see whether I can start doing something to changie kwa pesa? You know, what happens is you are able now to see the solutions other than the people seeing that you are the cause of the problem. Okay? Yes. So we are already looking for the solutions. Then we implement them. Implement one by one, or from the best, because we are going to pick one, and we say you can try to maybe start a grocery, you know, a green grocery, and then see how much do we have and all that. If that's what we can start with, then if it's working, then we can improve. So we look for the best solutions and implement that. Okay? Yes. Then after we have done that, now you know we are here to deal with our emotions. Because before, hata tufike hapo, sasa ndio nasema, lakini huku unaniambia vizuri. No, this is where now we come back and say, do not brood over with anger. Okay, sometimes you may never always win. But don't brood over with anger or resentment or disappointment. Because now you have not solved it. Because there are those times when you feel like it has not gone your way, but at least it is gone your both way. You see, you may have your own way, how you wanted the resolution, the conflict to be resolved. But now, if you have come with a better way for both of you, none has won, none has lost. Okay, we can say both of you have won.
That is where we have one goal.
Yes, you have now.
Different goals.
You've already now come to the one side where now you have looked for solutions. Then from there, you can now, if there is any resentment, just say how you felt, and then people, that's the time you say, that hurt me, that made me feel this way, and all that. Then that's where we say, if you are wrong, apologize. If you're right, shut up. You don't keep saying, nilikuwa nimekwambia. Kama ungenisikiza mbele hatungekuwa hapa. Okay, that is where we say, if you are wrong, apologize. If you are right, shut up. The person has already known. Kama nilikuwa nimekosea. So si lazima ufinyirie na weke chumvi na dimu ati ili aende akijua. Ulikuwa umesema na nilikuwa nakaa nikikwambia hatungekuwa tunakaa hapa. Sasa ona masaa ile yote tumetumia tukiongea juu ya jambo kama ungezinikiza kwanza. That is not the way it should be. So he's saying, remember always the antidote of any conflict is love and forgiveness. 1 Corinthians talks about love. It does what? Believes all things, trust all things, or trust, hopes, and also it lasts longer. It never fails. So when it comes to those times when you feel like you've been so hurt, you have been, you have been like slighted, or even in the argument you feel like it took a long time to be listened to, or to your point of view to be seen. But at the end of it, you can say, because I love him, I forgive him. And so love
covers.
Yes. Covers a multitude of sins. Anaweza kuwa kila saa ni makosa baadaye na moja ndiye kwa conflict. Have you ever gone to conflict where every time unasikia kwani mimi nakuanga nimekosa tu? But unajua na wewe mwenye dhambi sana. The other person seems to be Madam Perfect or Mr. Perfect. And you keep wondering, kwani mimi tu nakosa? And sometimes there is that time when you almost feel like you don't want today to accept that you are wrong. But it's, as long as it adds up in the fact that it's not you, it is us. Our relationship is better. Winning a relationship is better than winning an argument. You may win the argument, but you've lost your friend. Yeah, you've lost your husband. You lost your wife. Then I don't think you really are resolving anything. Yeah. So it's not issue of yes. So remember, one of the things that I would say, I can say and be. We are now through on those things, but one of the things that never, or we say not to do, and be not, we say avoid. In times when we are talking and we are solving conflict, don't do the following. No put downs. How do you put somebody down? We nyamaza au we unakaa ukiongea hata unipei nafasi. It's like you keep yapping. You almost tell somebody is like you can't stop talking. Put downs, or like sasa ona sasa unaongea ukitema mate, you know, that is a put down because like you're even going beyond. The other thing we say, do not character assassinate. We remember in one of the poor communicators we said the assassin.
Yes.
Najua yule assassin anakukata tu, either compares you with and tells you mama yako, or uses a very crazy one. Okay, I don't want to use that name because now it's media personality. You know, people who talk and you're saying, we unaona vile unaongea kama so and so. You know, in that way you are assassinating the other person. So it's like at the end of it is like, kwani ananiona nafanya. So the assassination is where you just get right into the heart of that person. Something else? And some of these words we use, which we call ultimate words, generalization. They affect our argument, like you never come home early. You always, you know, these like we have talked about this issue and says, you know, you keep repeating, or you never change, or you never change. When you use the word never, always, what happens is that you have been doing this. So the issue is this, that we don't even see the positive side, neither do we see any effort made. There could be one day he came early. You know, except Monday you came early. These other days, it is true, identify them. And when he sees there are 5 out of 7 that I'm late, then that one indeed shows that there is a habit.
Yes.
But you don't say you always come late. Anakuuliza na Monday. Kwa hivyo hata Monday nilichelewa. Yes, George.
And I think never means that there is no even hope.
Yes, of recovery.
Yes. So if you never come home early, meaning not in the past, not in the present, not in the future.
Not even the future, yes. Or you never change. You keep. So you never change, and we have come to solve a conflict. There seems to be like we have already put, there's no hope. So some of those words, let's never. Or even sometimes, you know, some statements we say, sasa we ni mwanamke wa aina gani? Now what have you said?
We ni mwanaume na bagapi.
Sasa we unajiita mwanaume
na bagapi.
Yes, na hawajafanya mtihani. Wewe unajihesabu kwa naume, you know? Or like those are words if you ever said. Now Sabran is laughing. You've heard of people ask, so when mwanaume wa aina gani au mwanamke wa aina gani? I mean, anyway, and bad words that have been used. And so it's important that we realize anytime we also start a conversation by accusation, we start the defenses. So you never do that, okay? Then you start now defending yourself. And that can continue on and on. Before you calm down, you have wasted a lot of time because there is a way we should start. Listen to one another and hear one another. I believe we look, if we were keen, they may not be in that order. But if you look at them, we can see how we can solve our conflicts well.
Yes.
In the next class, I would want us to go practical, because we'll look at how we can do the conflict. I mean, how we can solve the conflict, even in those given areas. And each one of us may be ready to present something and say, this is how I would be able to solve or to go on, you know, solving a conflict. Thank you so much. It's been good talking and listening to one another. I think if we ever had a conflict, we'll be able to listen to one another and hear one another. What do you think?
Yes.
And when we go home, we know a better way of solving conflicts. Thank you. And our viewers, I believe that also you are learning how to solve conflicts at home.
Colossians 3 verse 14. And above all this, put on love and enfold yourself with the bond of perfectness, which binds everything together completely in ideal harmony. In today's discussion during the break,
Yes. In our previous class, we were handling a very crucial topic in the society and in marriages, that is conflict resolution. And we looked at various ways that we are supposed to follow, or various steps that are supposed to be followed to have an effective conflict resolution. But we have an issue in the society where many conflicts are not resolved. So I would wish that we discuss what are the barriers of conflict resolution. Ni nini kinasababisha ya kwamba kusiwe na suluhisho, ama suluhisho likitafutwa lisipatikane. So
nafikiri ya kwanza huenda ikawa is ego, people's ego. Ya kwamba sitaki, hata wakati nimeigundua na nimeona ya kwamba mimi ndiye nilikuwa na makosa, sitaki kusema ni kukubali. And especially more so for the men. How do you say sorry to your especially in the African context? How do you go saying sorry? Na wewe ndiye jogoo, ndiye ndume ya hiyo boma. So hiyo ego nafikiri, sijui kama ni ubinafsi kwa Kiswahili ama ni nini, but the aspect of I am siwezi, mimi siwezi, you know. And this one here is not only within the family. I've known somebody who was saying, like, wearing it like a crown somewhere. Akasema, I never apologize. I never say sorry, you know. I would rather show it out there, but verbalizing that, kusema ya kwamba mimi kweli nimekubali, ni mimi nilikuwa na makosa. Hiyo inakuwa ngumu kwa watu wengine.
Okay, sasa mimi kama mimi my husband, like miaka 2 ya kukaa katika ndoa, there were years of conflict, always conflicts, until ninakumbuka siku moja tukawa tumepigishana kelele sana. It was on a Sunday na tulikuwa tuende kanisani. Saa hiyo tumejitayarisha, tumevaa nguo, imefika sasa ni kutoka. I asked something that was very little, lakini kutoka saa 2 asubuhi hatukuenda kanisani, tukapiga kelele, tukakeleleshana, yeye analete hii na mimi nalete hii, yeye analete hii nalete hii. But ilipofika masaa ya kitu saa 7 tukauli, yeye mwenyewe ndiye aliniuliza, na hii yote inakuwaga ni kwa sababu gani? Yeye mwenyewe akaniambia, wacha niweke mimi kama George kando na wewe uweke Grace kando. We are in one situation now ambayo tumeshindwa kuacha. Situation ya kelele. Mara yeye sijui wewe kwenu, sijui mimi kwetu, sijui nini, sijui. But mpaka wakati tuliketi chini tukaambiana, now we must think about this. Tuingie katika kikapu moja kama vile tumeambiwa kwa darasa. You become one. Uache kufikiria kama wewe, kama mume aache kufikiria kwamba you have the ego of a man, na mimi niwache kusema kama mimi ni mama ninapiga kifua, tufikirie kitu moja. And we solved the problem. Hiyo ya kelele ya kila wakati. Na hiyo yenye umesema ya ego, unapata ya kwamba mtu hataki kukubali. And mostly unikubalie niseme men hawapendi kusema pole. Kwa sababu anasema mimi ndiye ndume.
Hata akisikia ya kwamba anastahili kusema pole, anaenda analeta kilo ya nyama.
Hiyo ndio pole. But I think the other barrier to conflict resolution is prefactual defense. Most people have, yani akona ile defense hata kabla facts ziingie kwa meza. Waingie kwa mazungumzo ya kusuruhisha. Unapata ya kwamba tayari kabla waanze ashaamua ya kwamba mimi sina makosa. Ashaamua, na hiyo imeingia ndani ya moyo wake na ndani ya mawazo yake. So every other things inagonga mwamba. Kwa sababu tukijaribu kutafuta ulikuja ukiwa umechelewa, tayari nimejiambia hiyo si makosa. So hata ukijaribu kuisema, hata tukijaribu kuona, hata ulete timing, ile timer ya kwamba uliingia saa hii na saa hii na saa hii, tayari asha uiweka ndani yake ya kwamba sijakosea. So we get that people get into it, lakini tayari usha jidefend. So inakuwa sasa ni habari ya.
Na nyingine nafikiria huwa ni I think ni malezi. Nafikiria penye mtu penye amelelewa. Kwa sababu unapata Kama kwa mfano naweza sema kwetu, sisi kwetu ulikuwa huwezi ingia kwetu baada ya saa 12. Unaingia kwa nani? Sasa mimi nimejua kwamba saa 12 watu hawaingii nyumbani. Sasa ukiwa umeolewa, ukiona mume wako anaingia saa 12, unabaki zile za wewe umetoka wapi? Na umekuja saa hizi kwa nani? Unaona? Sasa hiyo pia inachangia katika conflict. So the moment at least when you know that, I think the major thing you should know is how you are going to approach. Ujue kwamba wewe venye umelelewa na vile yeye amelelewa ni tofauti. At least ndio mweze kuendelea kuongea na mjue venye mtaweza kusuluhisha conflict kwa jamii.
Na ndio hiyo yenye kwa darasa tumeambiwa kuhusu, unaweza pata mwingine ni wa dini hii, mwingine ni wa dini hii, mwingine ni mkabila hii, mwingine ni mkabila hii. Tuseme kwa Kikuyu tunafanyaga na njia fulani. Nayo kwa labda nimeolewa na Mjaluo, kwao wanafanyaga na njia tofauti. Sasa hapo tusipokubali kuelewana, hatutawahi. Na tuseme kama kwa nikubalie niseme hivyo, kwa Wakikuyu mwanaume anajua yeye ni yaketi, akishafanya biashara zake akuja ashughulikiwe na mwanamke, kwa sababu alimuoa kama mwenye kumshughulikia nyumbani. But unapata kabila zingine hawana shida, mume anaweza enda kitchen apike, anaweza fua nguo, anaweza fanya hizo shughuli zote. Ni vizuri tuelewane. Kama wewe umekubali kuolewa kwa kabila tofauti, ni vizuri pia tunakubali. Mimi nimetoka kwetu, tumeingia sasa tuko kwa ndoa moja. Yenye ndoa ambayo hatutaweka ukabila pale.
Na nafikiri kwa Constance alikuwa.
Na sana ingine ni hata kama men they have egos, hata ladies now kuna hii sana kama social media. Kuna vile watu huko wanaongea then unaileta kwako. Sasa unaanza kumod mume wako. Na hiyo si mzuri. Sasa hiyo nyingine inaleta conflict. Unaweza pata wengine wanasema siku hizo wanamuita son of Farao. How comes? Huyu ni son of Farao. Na wewe mwenyewe unamjua tu kabisa. Huyu ni mwana wa Mungu alikuletewa. Kama Mungu alisema ataumba mmoja. Sasa umetoa wapi son of Farao? Na unakuja kwa nyumba na unaanza kutengeneza son of Farao. Na unajua Mungu alikuletea. So, hata kama unatuita daughters of Jezebel, you know who you are. Wewe unajijua mwenyewe kabisa, unajielewa. Unajua wewe ni mwana wa Mungu na Mungu ndiye aliyekuumba. Wacha kuenda kutoa mambo kwa Facebook, kwa Twitter, nini. Unaona wenye wamemod na wewe unakuja una mod kwa jamii yako. Hiyo ndio inaleta conflict sana. So, wamama wenzangu tafadhali mahali mko, tuachane na daughters of Jezebel. Sisi tuko kwa hiyo. Jezebel by the way ni spirit.
Nafikiri kitu kingine pia ambayo inachangia ni kama vile tulikuwa tunaambiwa pale. And it's poor communication. I think ile kitu inaingia hapa kwa conflict resolution, huwezi resolve any conflict without proper communication. Sio communication tu. Kwa sababu communication unajua hata non-verbal, hata ukinyamaza, you are already communicating. Lakini tunasema proper effective communication. Ikikosa inakuwa barrier. A barrier that resolving the conflict.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think there's this issue as she said, mara sons of Pharaohs, daughters of Jezebel, hii mambo yote. One thing I think we should agree on is that we are creating a new culture, and even Grace vile amesema that we are from different cultures. But mimi from the marriage mentorship I've gone through, what is it called? When you're being prepared for marriage, premarital classes.
Yes.
We were taught that you are creating a new culture. I can't bring in our culture to my wife fully because pia yako na yao. She might get to resist, but we agree now that we are creating a new culture, a culture of Christianity, a culture that is between the two of us. That, like one of the things we agreed, our children don't have names zetu za nyumbani. In our culture, we name according, I'll name my father, I'll name my... But I'll pick one name, the Christian name, and not pick the other. Not because I hate my parents or I hate my relatives, but that's the culture we've cultivated in our family. So when we create that culture, it doesn't stop the conflicts, but at least it reduces the conflicts. Because now, whatever decisions we are making are based on the culture that we've cultivated as a family. Yeah.
Nafikiri kwamba there is also another barrier of conflict resolution, and the teacher has touched it. Kwamba the bottom line, we have love and forgiveness. So unforgiveness ndio ni kikwazo kikubwa sana cha suruhisho, kwa sababu kama hupendi mtu then na humsamehei, ina maana ya kwamba hata suruhisho hutaki. Unataka suruhisho la nini? Because a solution that you are looking, or the conflict that you want to resolve, it is with the goodwill to further the marriage or to further the relationship. Unataka hii ndoa iache misuko-suko. So, but if there is no love, then it means that it becomes a very big barrier to conflict resolution. Kwa sababu kama hupendi mtu, mnasuluhisha nini?
Na swali ni je, mko pamoja na mpendani?
Nowadays wanasema tunasaidiana kuvamia landlord. Wewe unafanya biashara na mimi niko kwa biashara, tukifika kwa nyumba wewe lete yako 1,000 na mimi yangu 1,000 tulipe rent. So inakuwa hamko pamoja kwa sababu ya ile upendo, mko pamoja kwa kuvamia landlord.
And I think that is what the teacher said, that kama kuna upendo, you have to tone down and unaacha mambo mengine kwa sababu ya upendo wako kwa mwenzako. Hata kama akona makosa mengi kiasi gani. Love covers a multitude of sins. So as you go to resolve a conflict with that mentality and that attitude that this is my only love, this is the love of my life, nafikiri hata kuna mambo mengine you're not going to hit so hard, and you shall be willing even to make things better for proper relationship.
Now wanasema some not all. Wengine wanasema mimi najua ananipenda, so wacha yeye mwenyewe anyenyekee. So anangojea ule aende chini. Yeye hataki kuenda chini.
So I think we
but anasema kwa sababu najua ananipenda. Ninajua tu, niko sure hata akienda atarudi. Kwa hiyo wengine wanasemanga hata akienda kwao watakuja. Sitamuendea.
So, kuna in the first place mimi sorry for interjecting there, lakini nafikiri mtu akiwa na conflict kwenda kwenu sio suluhisho. Kutoka kwa nyumba yako uende hadi kwenu, hiyo sio suluhisho. Lakini at the same time mimi naona kama the level of maturity ya watu, maturity sio tu miaka, but the level of maturity itasaidia in conflict resolution, and therefore a barrier is the level of maturity, can be a level of maturity.
All right, thank you so much. Hoping to see you next as we discuss more things in marriage classroom. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the next lesson to learn about the practical methods you can employ in solving marital conflicts. To get the notes of today's lesson, visit www.mbcimedia.com/TMC. Catch the repeat of Marriage Classroom every Tuesday at 10 p.m.